FDR's first inaugural in 1933, that was when the country was in the throes of the Great Depression. FDR had just defeated one-term President Herbert Hoover in an election that was not close. Hoover was the incumbent president, but he only won 6 states in his effort to win re-election. FDR just walloped him. Hoover was not happy about it. Hoover thought FDR was an idiot. He hated him. He hated FDR's promise of a new deal for the country. But because he had lost, because Hoover was a lame duck president, there wasn't that much he could really do about the new course the country was about to turn toward. But boy, did he try. Now, back then, the inauguration was held later than it is today. We've always had the election in November. But instead of swearing in presidents like we do now in January, back then the new president didn't get sworn in until March. So the lame duck period was longer than it is now. And what belligerent, failed little Herbert Hoover did with that extra time in 1933 is that he tried to throw sand in the gears of FDR's transition and the start of the new administration. He tried to get FDR to sign on to his economic plans, the same ones that FDR had run against and that had proved already ruinous to the country. When FDR, of course, refused to do that, Hoover started publicly leaking their private written correspondence, thinking that that might make FDR look bad. When the Hoover family and the Roosevelt family got themselves together as a way for the incoming and outgoing first families to get to know each other, to try to sort of make peace. That meeting went so poorly that FDR later said his son James wanted to, quote, punch Hoover in the eye. The historians' consensus, basically, on what Hoover was trying to do back then was to wrong-foot the incoming president, to wrong-foot FDR so badly in that transition that FDR would look bad even before the start. America would essentially turn against his presidency before it even really got underway. And then the country would come crawling back to Herbert Hoover when the next election rolled around. Yeah, they actually elected FDR to 4 terms. That Hoover to FDR transition was so bad, we changed the rules. So now we inaugurate the next president in January instead of waiting until March. That's in part so any sore loser, bad outgoing president doesn't have too much time to monkey wrench things for the country if he doesn't like his successor. So, like I said, things don't always go well. Inaugurations of new presidents are not always ribbons and bunting and inaugural balls and fights about the crowd size. Sometimes there is parallel strife and suffering. Sometimes it almost comes to blows between the incoming and outgoing first families.